Well, welcome back to the small business mindset. I know that when we talk about business journeys, we all have a different story to tell, and we all have a different way we got into business. We tried, we failed, we stumbled, we dealt with finances, we dealt with partnerships, we dealt with, lack of inventory, all the things above. But then we also have a side of our business that is very impactful as well, and that's the personal side and the challenges that we might face in that as well. So, joining me today is Carter Gaskins. Carter is the owner and founder of Gaskins Photography, and I've had the pleasure of knowing Carter for the last number of years. And I will make sure and put in the show notes how to get a hold of him because he truly is an artist when it comes to the art of photography. He has a beautiful eye and a stance that he loves to share with the world and capture with people and places. So, Carter, welcome to the podcast.
Hey, thank you for having me.
So, would you tell us how did you get into photography in the first place? Because I love the fact that not only your business is something that you know you probably started, I'm going to guess, with just a camera in your hand before you expanded into space and building a business, but which is probably similar to a lot of people start businesses, whether in photography or something else. But walk us through that business journey.
Well, it was a little different. Always had a way of art. So I was an artist at first, a tattoo artist too. So a lot of people don't know that about
I
me.
did not know that about you.
But yeah, and when I moved out to Kansas, uh, me and my wife, we was having a baby boy, and then next thing the child died at birth, and we didn't have any photos or anything. So that's how I got into photography. I picked up a camera when my second born, Cadence, when she was born. So I started taking a whole lot of photos of her, and then I started going on and on and on and on. And next thing you know, I started taking pictures of everybody else, and I just wanted to capture those moments.
That's awesome. Yeah. So you just started capturing moments, but how did that work into, I mean, kind of a side passion hobby? I mean, you were an artist.
Yeah,
Did you continue being a tattoo artist as you were getting into photography, or tell me how that transition
yeah.
happened for you?
I didn't. I just picked up a camera and just started going with the camera. So it wasn't no more tattooing. Just it's the same basically thing, like shading and all the art and everything to it.
Okay.
So I just started editing on photos and helping other people capture their moments. And next thing you know, I just got into it really heavy.
And I'm gonna guess because I call myself technology illiterate a lot of times. And I mean, I think some people naturally pick up all of the editing software and specifics. Did you seek any special training for that when you were pulling videos and photographs and for editing, or how did you navigate that?
YouTube University.
Wow. Okay.
Everything on YouTube. I spent like nights and nights and nights, late night hours, just learning photography, learn how to shade, learn how to you know, figure out different ways, different techniques to take photos, different ways to, you know, catch people's moments, all those type
Yeah.
of things. But I didn't understand the marketing part. So I
Okay.
did all of the back end things,
Uh-huh.
but I couldn't figure out how to get people. So that was my struggle at the
Mm.
very beginning. I would take random individuals and just start taking their photos and go on and on and on and edit and
Mhm.
try to figure out ways to bring people in.
And you were sounds like, yeah, you did the reps to figure that out. So, I'm
Yes.
glad you brought up the marketing aspect because I think a lot of times many business owners, they honed in on a skill. So they know how to produce
Mhm.
the product, right? Or have the
Absolutely.
service. But the so important part, you really don't have a business unless you can actually make sales and what that looks
Yes.
like. So how did you start marketing your product? Was it word of mouth?
Yeah.
Was it social media? What was it?
It was word of mouth. But I do give her a lot of credit to my wife. She was working at the Journal World at that time and she connected me
Okay.
with Nick Crew. And Nick
Okay.
Crew got me into sports. And next thing you know, it just started, you know, going
Yeah.
on and on and on. And people started talking about, hey, this person take photos. Can you help with this? Can you help with that?
Mhm.
So yeah, it
I
was
love
good.
it. Yeah, so you used your network.
Yes.
But I love the fact because you had a quality product to back it up. And I think
Yes.
that's what some people think that it's the easy part. I'm like, well, if only I could get in the door. But Carter, it's my understanding, and I've seen your work to acknowledge this, is that you've created this exemplary product that it stands on its own and speaks for itself. I think it just finding that pathway to get it out to the world. So in that
And,
business, go.
and quality wasn't always there.
Okay, yeah,
Just as you in real estate, the
yeah,
very beginning, you don't know what you know now. So you had to use the word fake it till you make it
that's right, that's right.
to try to figure out, but you learn as you go.
Yeah, yeah. So, what did you learn along the way in the process to figure out, how to make a more quality product?
Yeah, let's start with the marketing part
Okay,
first.
please do.
I was introvert. I did not know
Did you
how to
say I
talk to people.
was an introvert? You're not an
I
introvert.
was. Well, kind of.
But
Yeah,
yeah, let's
but
talk about that.
I was a huge introvert. I say
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I didn't know
Okay.
how to talk to people. Didn't know how to sell myself. Didn't know how to do any of that. I give a lot of credit to Tiffany with the chamber.
Okay. Yeah,
She no longer works with the chamber
yeah,
now, but
yeah,
with Tiffany because she has held my hand and said, "Hey, let's go talk to people." When I was sitting in the corner, she would grab me and say, "Hey, let's introduce you to this person. Let's introduce you to that person," and that pushed me out the
yeah,
introvert stage.
yeah.
So
I love it. Well, and how did you meet your wife? You must have like somehow come out and
yeah,
asked her out, or maybe
so
she asked you out. Maybe she was the extrovert.
so that was easy for me.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna tell you why. I knew her father before I knew her.
Okay.
So her
Okay.
father introduced me to her. So
Okay.
I didn't have the stress of, hey, I gotta meet your father. I'm nervous.
Yes.
Margaret was in good standings with her father. So her father said, Carter, this is Shanice. Shanice is Carter. He said, now get out my hair.
Well, that's a nice way to go meet somebody. I mean, I'm glad she liked you.
Yes. And I used to ride motorcycles too. I used to race motorcycles actually.
Really? Good for
And
you.
she liked motorcycles. So that was the first time we met. And it was like, hey, you want to ride the motorcycle? Let's ride the motorcycle. And that's how
There,
we met.
there we go.
Yeah.
Well, you have a high propensity to handle fear, apparently, if you can get on a motorcycle
Yeah.
and, that's pretty
Yeah.
awesome.
It was rough. I think the fastest I've ever been was like 181
Oh my gosh.
on the motorcycle. So yeah.
And you have all your body parts, so I'm assuming, you didn't crash and burn a lot or anything like that.
One accident. Knock on wood. Hope I don't have any more.
Yeah.
But this right here, everybody think it's a birthmark, but it was an accident. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. I
Yeah.
kid my husband because in his younger years, he would go play, I mean, not motorcycle racing or anything like that, but he would go play like soft pitch softball with some buddies and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And as he got older, I said, honey, I think as an adult now, I really don't think you need to come home with scabby knees and road rash and all this kind of stuff. You might rethink, how you're spending your time, but that's hilarious. So, oh my gosh.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, so you met your father-in-law before you met your wife, which awesome. You raced motorcycles. You were a tattoo artist. You moved to
Yes.
Kansas. Had some personal tragedy in losing a child, which is awful. And then you started photographing your second born, and then this built into a
Yes.
business through connections and stuff like that. So since then, where has that taken you?
That's taken me far, to be honest with you. The connection I have with Lawrence and everybody in Lawrence is amazing.
Yeah.
Um, Outside the business part of things, just to build the relationships, the friendships, and everything through photography is amazing.
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh, and just like helping other businesses with the business is great.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
one of the things I love to do.
Hmm.
Like the headshots, the branding, the making sure everybody's making more money, profitable stuff like that.
Hmm.
So it's amazing.
I love that you say that you consider your business, and you're absolutely right. I mean, you're one sliver of the economy of their business, but you are such an
Yes,
important part of their business, and you understand those metric. And you're right. I'm doing this to help you elevate your brand, to help elevate your income, your connection, and you want to look good and be presentable when you're doing it. So that's a huge part
yes,
of it that people need
absolutely.
to consider. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna take a turn for a minute. You
Okay.
shared with me, and please, tell me if I need to divert for a second or whatever. But you have an interesting background story with the loss of a child, and how that impacted you personally and how that impacted you personally and ability to work and do business. Would you mind sharing with us a little bit about what that experience was?
Yeah, it's tough. In 2009, I lost my father. In 2011, I lost my son.
Mhm.
I was strong for my mother. I was strong for my wife, but I didn't take the time to grieve within me.
Mhm.
So when all of this happened, I ended up picking up like the camera and rushing into the business and using that as a technique to divert from what I was feeling.
Yeah.
But the issue was it came back like 9 to 10 years later. It will hit you eventually if you don't grieve properly.
Yeah.
And that's when like the anxiety and depression and stuff like that hit. Like it was always there, but it wasn't in it like a dramatic way.
Mhm.
But
Mhm. And
like
then
I worked very, very hard to divert me from the way I was feeling.
mhm.
So it's like a mask. I always pushed it to the back of my head. So when I feel something, I would watch a YouTube video, learn more. When I felt something, I would go out and take random photos, like those type of things. And also the way I was feeling, I wanted to make other individuals feel better too.
Yeah.
So when I was feeling the anxiety, the depression, I would take other individuals' photos to make them feel better.
Mhm.
So I would seek out people on Facebook or Instagram that say, "Hey, I'm going through this, I'm going through that." And I'm like, "Hey, let's take a photo."
Mhm.
And that's the way I made people feel better through the lens of a camera.
Yeah.
So
So how did you ultimately deal with that? Did you figure out a way to
yes,
take care of yourself first?
always said when you don't figure out how to take care of yourself, God will make a way.
Oh.
And I say that because when COVID hit and the world stopped,
Mhm.
now that was God's way of saying you have to deal with yourself.
Yeah.
And it wasn't easy.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy at all. I went through a lot of debilitating anxiety, depression that shut down for like a year and a half in the house. Like, I couldn't go out, I couldn't walk outside, like all of those things. It was terrible,
Mhm. Mhm.
and I didn't know how to deal with it. So the anger came, the frustration came, what's wrong with me came, all of those things, and I had to really like shut down the business for a while to try to deal with myself. And I'm not 100% cured from it, but it got better. Had to push my way through.
Yeah. So what does day to day look like for you?
It depends on what the day is.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Some days you wake up and everything's great and everything's fine. Some days it's like depressing, but you have to push through and you got to just figure out just because someone looks successful doesn't mean they're not fighting something internally.
That's right.
Uh, a lot of people see me walking down the street and like, hey, that's got successful photography person, and like they really don't know what I go through with my battles.
Yeah. And you have such an infectious smile and a presence about you that, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
why wouldn't they think that?
Yeah, that's the mask. What have you seen one of those Facebook things where they put the mask on, they
Yes.
get home, they put the mask off?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's more like me.
I
I
think
have to make sure I'm there.
yeah, it's interesting. I was actually talking with a friend the other day, about just the expectations that our society places on us in general, and I want to ask you this question. What does
Yeah,
success look like? Because I think society has a certain definition of what success looks like and this expectation, but I think we all need to define it for ourselves, and
yeah,
success is not always financial gain. It's not always this, pretty picture, no pun intended, pretty picture of, a certain car, a certain house, a certain environment, whatever like that. But defining it for ourselves. And sometimes success can mean, appreciating the beauty in the world and having a good relationship with your family and having time for yourself to breathe.
yeah. I agree. Exactly what you said. Success at first was me making how much money I can make.
Hmm.
Success was how big can this business be.
Yeah.
Success was how do people view me.
Mhm. Mhm.
And then when all of that stopped, I felt as though like I was successful.
Yeah.
So I had to build myself up. Now, like you said, success is more like, is my family healthy, happy?
Mhm.
Is the health of my family great? Can I take my family on like trips, or can I take my family like down the street or something like that, go for a walk, those type of things. Like when I see my kids, my wife smile, that is success now.
Yeah.
So I had to flip all of those things. Now the business is just an add on from the
Mhm.
success.
Mhm. I'm so glad you said that. Yeah. And I also think I know I'm a little older than you. um,
I don't think about too much.
I don't know, but as it's funny. So I celebrated a big birthday this year. I turned 50, and
So I'm right behind you. I'm 44.
yeah, right behind you.
I'm
Thank
right
you,
behind
thank
you.
you for that. But I think I mean, I would love to hear your feedback on this. I As you look throughout like the decades of your life, right? So as you become an adult, so
Mhm.
after you turn 18 and you're independent, whatever that looks like for you, whether you go to school or you move away or whatever like that.
Absolutely.
Um, and I feel like for me, the 20s were so defining. I'm like I was anxious and excited and I wanted independence. And I didn't know what that looked like just yet, but I so wanted to be that. I wanted to be relevant and I wanted the seat at the table and I want people to say, "Hey, yeah, let's bring it." But when you're at that age, you don't have the experience yet. You don't have the reps in of, honing in whatever your craft is. People don't take you seriously. So I feel
Yeah.
like you're just grabbing and going and trying to figure out. And then you move into your 30s and you're like, okay, you have a little bit of experience, you're getting to know people and you're still climbing. But it's funny, every decade that goes on, and now and now in my 50s, it's like there is a wonderful essence of calm, because what was important to me in my 20s is no longer important to me in my 50s, which is
Yeah.
cool. And I think about, it comes down to me three things. It's like I want to have amazing relationships with people that I love and care about. I want to have interesting conversations that inspire and fill me and maybe challenge me, and learn from people. And the third thing is the success or financial model, but it's like I just want to have the ability to experience all that, whatever it looks like,
Absolutely.
and that's it. I would love to hear your perspective on what that looks like.
Yeah, it's kind of the same. My 20s, I was kind of a caregiver,
Okay.
I would say. Uh, when I was 17, my father had a platelet problem that it got really, really low, that they put him on like 20 something pills.
Wow.
And then that ended up putting him in a mental institution. So I've seen that at a young age, which kind of pushed me, my mental, to a different way. I used to shake all the time when he wasn't home, stuff like that. So my nervous system was already in whack at
I'm
a young
sure.
age.
Yeah,
Um, so I was a caregiver from about 17 to about 25,
that's a
25,
lot.
26.
And that's a lot
Yeah,
as for a young person because our brains don't fully develop until we're 25,
absolutely.
you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he passed away when I was 26. And I met my wife at 27.
Okay.
And then I lost my child at 28. So
Yeah.
my 20s was kind
Roller
of
coaster.
dramatic when it comes to like those type of things.
Yeah.
But then when I had my daughter at 31, I think it was,
Mhm.
uh, I ended up going full speed trying to catch up from my
Mhm.
20s.
Mhm.
And that's when I said I never had a time to grieve. I was like, okay, oh man, I'm having a daughter. I remember my wife told me, like, hey, I'm pregnant. I'm like, oh, congratulations, we pregnant. Then I'm like, oh, I gotta take care of a child now.
Yeah.
So let's go full speed real quick, trying to catch up. And that's when the financial part of things started pushing, like, okay,
Right.
finances. And then my wife was like, what about me? I was like, when take care of a child. So then, like I said, my 30s was trying to catch up in my 20s. And then I'm in my 40s. Then I'm like, where did my 30s go?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it goes really
It
fast.
goes really fast.
Uh, and then when, like I said, hit my 40s, now I'm like, okay, now I need to catch up for my 30s. Like it's been a big catch up game for me. But
Mhm.
I had a lot of fun in my 20s, I would say.
Okay.
I a lot of partying. I always tell my wife, I wish I could go back and invest like I know now in my 20s, then I would know different.
Yeah. But here's the beauty, I would say, of the even just the human evolution. The beauty of it is that humans live longer. You know, if you
Yeah,
think about 100 years ago or whatever, I mean, the mortality rate of, I mean, we live to what, 50? I don't know. I
yeah,
mean, you know, but if you think about that, we have a lot more runway left in our life. But I think it is hard to be just in a world and actually live in this country, and feel calm, you know, even part of the time, and have a deep passion and understanding of who you are and what your place is in this world. I think it's a daily challenge for everybody, honestly. And I think
yeah,
I applaud you, Carter, for being vulnerable about that journey and being honest about it, and, you know, being diligent about and thoughtful on how you are every day, and, you know, what that means to you. And I mean, I'll admit to myself, I look like an extrovert as well, but I tell you what, I recognize fully when I'm like, okay, my extrovertness is fried right now, and I need to go home, and I need to shut the door, and I need to be a hermit for the weekend. And actually, it's funny. This last Sunday, we had nothing on the calendar, and I was in my pajamas all day, and it was awesome. I didn't take a shower, but I'm very fortunate. My husband, we were in the same boat. It's like, you know, it's like we cooked some food. I read a book, and it was amazing. I took a nap with the dog, and I'm thinking, you know, you know, just unplugging and not having that expectation of stuff. But I also know that years ago I was working with a therapist, and we were kind of just talking through, you know, just different challenges that I've been having. She's like, I think a lot of people nowadays, even if they don't physically experience trauma, meaning were they in a, you know, a traumatic altercation, or were they in an accident, but she's like, we experience battle fatigue more often than we
yeah,
realize, you know, and battle fatigue can just be mental, emotional. And she's like, because we hold ourselves, you know, like we're strong, right? We're supposed to be these protectors, and we got it, and we figure out all the things, and I imagine you're the one in your family that you're like, I know I have the capacity to figure it out, but what does that mean to me? And I'm probably just like you. I'm sure
yeah.
you have a hard time asking for help.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
I'm like, yes.
And I'm glad you mentioned that because like we need a community around us.
We
Like
absolutely
even
do.
when I was going through my mental issues, I stayed to myself.
Yeah.
Like I stayed in the room. I didn't ask my wife for help. I didn't ask for people outside for help. I just tried to deal with it myself. I can do this. I can do this.
Yeah.
But I really needed the support.
Right.
But I didn't ask for help.
Would it be fair to say that you didn't want to burden others with your need for help?
Yes,
Hmm. Hmm.
absolutely.
Yeah. And I'll be honest with you.
And then it
Yeah.
comes out. Like I said, then it comes out with anger, and then it comes out with
Yes.
frustration because
Yeah.
you like why am I feeling this way?
Hmm.
Like and going through a mental situation, when you break your leg, you know where the pain is at.
Yep.
When you burn your arm, you know where the pain is at. But when you mentally fatigued and frustrated, you're like, why am I feeling this way? Because the dizziness comes, the temper, the anger comes, like the stomach issues, the heart
Oh yeah.
palpitations, those type of things, and you're like, why do I feel this way?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can't figure it out. But
You,
it's just your mind playing tricks on
oh
you,
my
telling you
gosh.
like you're always in danger.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
Like,
I know I've shared with you, my husband is in law enforcement,
mhm,
and he came home with a book from a training session that, actually, here's the funny thing, he wasn't actually able to attend the training session because we were on vacation, which is probably better for his mental health than being in the training session.
right? Absolutely.
But he brought the materials home, and it was a book, kind of a short read, but it was about like emotional, I think it was like emotional intelligence for law enforcement officers and their families.
Mhm.
And I told him, I said, oh my gosh, this like describes you in a nutshell. He's like, well, of course it does. But I mean, but it's interesting because if you think about law enforcement, even if you're not, you know, pointing a gun at somebody, but you're in this fight or flight mode constantly. You're in officer safety mode. You know,
Yes.
you're wearing a vest, you're wearing a badge, you're wearing, you know, you're there to protect and serve. And it talks about how law enforcement officers, similar to military, or honestly anyone that has in a authoritative position, whether it's in your family or in your job or whatever, I'm like, you're the one, you're the type A, you're the leader of the pack, right? But
Yes.
when you are come home for the day and you're in your safe space, and in this instance you take off the uniform and you peel that off and you're in your safe space, the heightened awareness of your brain, so you're in this adrenaline fueled fight or flight, you come home and then it drops. I mean, you don't go back to
Yeah.
normal, you drop into almost like a blah, like a comatose
Yeah.
state. And they said, if you see your loved one zoning out to the TV or scrolling endlessly online or just, getting snippy with you or whatever, just like checked out, their brain hasn't reset yet. And they said on average, it takes the human brain 18 to 24 hours to fully reset in a resting environment to that normal, that normal. And in reality, who has 18 to 24 hours, right? You might
I
sleep,
agree.
and if you have kids or whatever, you have responsibilities. I'm like, you got to jump right back into the fray. But recognizing that, it's like, okay, I need to give myself some space and some white time. And then I'm just like you, Carter. I'm like, I have to get really comfortable with articulating what I need, even if it's not an ask. And
Right.
I'm very thankful to my spouse. I'm sure you are too, about like being, rolling through it with me and me being comfortable enough to say, I don't know what I want from you. I don't know what I want from anybody, but here's what I'm feeling. And it's scary and it's confusing and I'm disappointed in myself because I can't overcome it. But it just, getting it out there and kind of almost like throwing it all out there onto the white space board or whatever, and just letting it percolate for a minute. So what is
Yeah.
I want to how do you work through that when you're in those moments? Because I think a lot of people, just like you, it's like we carry this mask and this face, and they don't know what we're going through. And honestly, I've been told before, probably you've been told this before. It's like, well, she's got it all together. I don't think she doesn't need help. I mean,
Yeah.
why would I voluntarily ask for help? But at the same time, this is awful. When I see people that cry for help all the time, and it's almost like, the boy that cried wolf, I'm like, don't do that. If you need it, be real with it. But it's like I don't want to seem weak. So what does that look like for you?
It's interesting you said the 18 to 24 hours because I have a 12-year-old and an 8-year-old.
Yeah.
So there's no way I can get to 18 to 24 hours.
Right.
Uh,
Away.
yeah,
Yeah.
away. So I do a lot of watch Netflix, like you said, scrolling. Sometimes I do
Yeah.
photography. Eases my mind. I walk sometimes. I try to figure out ways to try to push me in a way to make me feel better.
Yeah.
But like you said, like life happens.
Yep.
So as you come in, you have kids like, Daddy, 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 let's do this. Let's figure out, let's do this. So I had to be a dad. Then you have a wife who you say, hey, we need to do this. Let's try to figure out this. Let's go here. And you just really don't have time to yourself.
Yeah.
Um, and I can only speak as a man because it's very hard as a man and a husband, as a father. It's always putting everything on your shoulders, trying to push forward. We really don't show our emotion until anger come out or frustration. Like I never see my father cry, and he
Yeah.
always told me not to cry,
Yeah.
which is not right.
Yeah.
But that's how they was taught when they was younger.
Hmm.
So they
Hmm.
was always taught back in the day, a man ain't supposed to cry, a man ain't supposed to go through this. Like so, we always gotta stay high, gotta stay strong,
Yep.
trying to figure it out. Uh,
Hmm.
but it's a lot harder trying to figure out how to push yourself in a better way
Hmm.
because like you were saying, trying to ask your spouse or ask someone how to help me when you don't know how to help yourself,
Yep.
and that's the hard part.
That is the hard part.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. Actually went on one of our favorite places to vacation as a family is San Diego. And we love it for one thing because I love direct flights anywhere. so, So it's great when you can just like, oh,
Right.
3 hours from Kansas City. It's awesome. And the weather's great and they have a beach and they have good food and all that stuff. And so we've gone there for several years. And I remember several years ago, we just got back. And usually it's a really relaxing time. I mean, my kids aren't older than yours, and so they're not the physically demanding time of life necessarily, and they're self-sufficient and stuff like that. And we got home, which should have been a wonderful vacation that with good food and family time and just, we are not a vacationing family that likes to go, 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 go. I mean, we might have an activity a day, but other than that, we like a lot of just free time to wander or, stare at the ocean, things like that.
Yeah.
So we got home, and the next day, my husband could tell I was like kind of checked out. And I'm so glad he asked me, which is what I was wanting. And I said, he's like, what is going on with you? He thought, did I do something or whatever? And I literally, I'm so glad we had that moment together, but I literally broke down crying. I said, I don't know why I'm feeling this way, but we got back from this wonderful vacation out of a place that I love. And the whole time I was there, I'm like, why am I not having fun? Why am I don't feel any joy. What is going on? And he's like, okay, well, I mean, of course he wanted to help me. Like, what can I do? I said, I don't know what you can do, but just being here talking to me about it is good, you know?
Right.
And actually that is when I decided I went to my doctor and I said, okay, I think I need to go on something. I think I need to consider an antidepressant. I said, I've never felt depressed necessarily, but something's off. Something doesn't feel good. And never in my life would I have thought to ask that question. Um,
Right.
but I'm glad I did. And I had to advocate for myself because my doctor was like, well, let's give it some time. And he's like, how long have you been feeling like this? Because I just got back from this vacation. He thought it was just the vacation. I said, you know what? Honestly, I've been feeling like this for 6 months or more. Just the joy's
Yeah.
not there. And I'm glad that we started, going down that path, and I feel better. But I know it was really hard for me to ask for help in that way. But also, I think even my doctor saw me as Kirsten. You handle it. You roll with it, right? You know.
Right.
But I will totally agree with you. It's just trying to articulate exactly what's going on because I also am a believer in nobody should feel bad ever. Nobody
I agree.
should feel bad physically, nobody should feel bad mentally ever. And if you do, not that there's something wrong with you, that's totally normal, but there should be a way to help alleviate that. I mean, we can't always take all the stressors out of our life. We get that. We can't just say, "Hey kids, go sit over there for a couple of days so I could just relax." Wouldn't
I
that be
wouldn't do it that
awesome?
easy.
Woo!
Right.
But there should be way. I mean, we should be able to feel joy on a regular basis. The other thing about this book that my husband brought home, which I thought was really interesting too, and it's hard to put that in practice, is if with the way however your brain has worked, and you're like you need to come down off of that adrenaline focused high. There's actually ways you can initiate other parts of your brain in an activity that allows you to rest that other side of your brain. So, for example, physical activity, walking, running, doing stuff like that, because it allows you to kind of relax down the part of your brain that gets so tense and stressed and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you mentioned going for a walk. What is that? So do you do activities that allow you maybe just as engaged in brain? You're
Yeah.
focused, you're pushing things like that. That have you found success in that realm?
Yeah. Walking outside in nature is always the thing.
Yeah.
Um, but just make sure you walk out on stage. No headphones.
Yes.
You have to understand and look at the nature and everything else. If you're in headphones, basically you're doing the same thing in the house.
Yep.
You are being distracted.
Yeah.
Uh, so I just got into martial arts again.
Oh, okay.
So that helped out a lot. I did Muay Thai for 2 or 3 years before,
Okay.
and then I got into Taekwondo because my daughter's in Taekwondo, and
Oh,
she's
okay.
about to get her black belt. She's
Go
almost
girl.
there.
Yeah.
She's almost there. She do testing next week,
Wow.
so hopefully she get her black belt. If not, we wait till the next cycle, but she'll get it.
That's awesome.
Uh, and my youngest is joined too. So my wife was like, "You should join with her." So I ended
Yeah.
up joining, and that helped out a lot because before I was struggling to exercise and struggling to do all those things. someone is depressed, someone going through anxiety, that's the last thing you really want to do.
Mhm.
Uh,
You just
so
wanna
that helped
curl
me
up
out
in a
a lot.
ball and protect
That's
yourself.
it.
Yeah.
That's it. So that helped out a lot because that basically, got me out the house doing things, meeting people, going to events, those types of things like that,
Yeah.
outside of business and family. So that helped out a lot. I have reconnected with some friends from my past. So talking with them has definitely helped out a lot. Uh, but it's like a focus one day at a time thing.
Mhm.
I cannot think about what's going to happen 4 or 5 years from now. I have to do it day by day.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people like plan 3, 6, 9, 12 months, 5 years, 20-year plan. That's like a thing that you want to do once,
Yeah.
and then you start working your way to those goals. You don't do it every day, but
Right.
it's an everyday thing of making yourself happy.
Mhm.
How do I make myself happy today? And
Mhm.
when today's over, how do I make myself happy tomorrow? Like those type of things.
Yeah.
And that's where you lose when you have anxiety and depression. You think tomorrow's gonna be bad. You start thinking about everything you did wrong in the past, and you just have to just push forward one day at a time. And
Mhm.
and that's why I started the company, Strong Mental Mindset, because the strong mental mindset isn't what you go through; it's the push that you go through every single day to make yourself better. Uh, and you have to have a strong mental mindset because some people have gave up,
Yeah.
unfortunately. So how can we get individuals and make individuals think that they are strong because what they go through is not a weakness? You have to go through something every single day when it comes to anxiety and depression. So you just going through it and making your way out of yesterday makes you strong.
Mhm.
So that's why I started that for everyone, but mostly for men though, because men don't have a place to talk.
Yeah.
We come home and try to explain it to our wives, girlfriends, or whoever it is, but we really don't talk with each other and say, "Hey, like we really going through this. Like, what's going on?" Because we supposed to be strong and try to figure it out and don't worry about me, but we have to figure out a way to talk together and push our way through together.
Mhm. Mhm. I hear a lot of, I'm gonna use the word discipline because I
Mhm.
think if, to take care of yourself properly, just like eating healthy food and, getting rest and, if something, on your body isn't functioning right, making sure you're getting that checked out and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But I think it's so easy to throw the discipline away if it's not a natural easy thing, and it's just that is that
yeah,
habit forming things that has to happen every day. I mean, I think about like I take a multivitamin every night and it's right, I put it in a place where I see it right on my bathroom. It's just like it's habit now, which is great. But it's those things that I know that I'm like, if I don't do these activities, I'm not going to feel very good.
right.
And that's a hard thing, and having a community around you that you can chat with. I mean, just like us today, it's like it's refreshing to have that and understand other people. Hey, you're not alone in this. Everyone deals with stuff like that. How do you make it better? How do you feel better? What things are you utilizing and tactics, and where have you plugged into and what works and honestly, what's
Yeah,
easy?
yeah, absolutely. One of the things that had to you said discipline, so
Yeah.
let's talk about discipline.
Yeah.
One of the things I had to push back was being too disciplined
Mm.
because, like you said, you had the multivitamin here. If you miss it one day, the mind, the voice in your mind would say, "You're not disciplined. You're terrible. You should have.
Yeah. It's like, why did
you
you do
you
that?
messed this
Something's
up."
got right. Yeah.
Right. So we see on, and I hate to bring this up, but we see on social media a lot of being disciplined, be disciplined, be disciplined.
Yeah.
You got to work out every day. You got to do this every day. But if you miss a day, it's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah, you just pick it back up.
Yeah.
If if you're eating great and one day you're just like, hey, I'm going out with your husband, your my wife, and say, hey, I just want to eat pizza today,
That's
that is
right.
okay. It's just like you just don't do it every day.
Right. Right.
But definitely moving your body. Like I said, stay focused one at a time and talking with someone. just like we have this conversation here, I didn't know what you went through with depression. A lot of people really don't know what I go through with depression and anxiety, but just talking with people and getting it off your shoulder, because sometimes you hold it on for so long
Hmm.
that it really affects you. It
You're
really
right.
affects you. And you just have to learn from your failures. Uh, like some things don't work for me,
Yeah.
right? And that's okay.
And that's
It
okay.
might work for you, but it not work for me.
Hmm.
So you have to be consistent. You have to make sure you know, focus on your mental. You have to make sure you continue to learn. Uh, but something with anxiety that I want to stress so much is don't go down the rabbit hole of watching YouTube videos all the time, you
Right.
know, this and that, because it would take you down a dark path of how to
Absolutely.
fix yourself. You really have to start enjoying life.
Hmm.
You really have to start doing what you like to do.
Hmm.
If that's going for a walk, if that's martial arts, is that basketball or whatever it is, or just going to the lake and listen to the water or something,
Yeah.
you have to do something for yourself.
Yeah.
I know we all have families. I know we all have friends that need us,
Hmm.
but you really have to take care of yourself as well.
So glad you brought that up. Okay. Do you wear a smartwatch or anything?
I do.
You do.
Yeah.
That's that's one of my anxiety triggers. I've never
I
gotten a
understand.
smartwatch on
Yeah.
purpose because I'm like, oh my gosh, if it's popping up and it's flashing, some people love it because
Yeah.
it feels like, okay, then I can just address it then or whatever. But here's a funny story. I wear a normal watch, like just a
Mhm.
regular wristwatch. But years ago, when I first was starting my career and I was meeting with some clients, apparently I had this habit of constantly checking my watch. This is
Yeah.
before people had phones and they could just glance at that or whatever. And the client, a more mature person, and she's like, "Do you have to be somewhere?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "You've looked at your watch so much." So I didn't wear a watch for years because I'm like, "Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, how rude I am." So, but you're right. I mean, it's just like what works for for people is not going to work for other people, and being mindful of that. But I've
Yeah.
also gotten really good on working on it of saying no to things.
Yeah.
I'm being like, no, I'm not going to do that. And not, for example, I don't love to cook, but I love to eat. And occasionally people are like, we love potlucks in our family, right? And I think
Yeah.
about like, okay, what can I bring that doesn't cause me stress to have to make it? And it's either easy peasy, like I can do it in my sleep, or I pick it up, it's frozen and I thaw it out. It's like it doesn't really matter. They just want you there. And getting over that, and finding out, I've had to really drill down and ask myself, I'm like, okay, what will bring me joy in this situation? Because sometimes a lot of life, especially as an adult, there's a lot of have tos, right? It's like so for example, if your family is having an event and everyone's going to be there and it's a potluck and that's kind of, how our family rolls, it's like, okay, yes, we need to go and show up because I want to show my love and appreciation for this person that we're there to celebrate. But I don't doesn't mean I have to be, bring the perfect casserole or the perfect dessert or do this or do that. What are other ways I can contribute that won't stress me out or make me all anxious and feel like I can't wait to get out of here, but I can't, and then I'm done for the rest of the day. I could literally come home and want to crawl in bed. So
Absolutely.
it's identifying that and what that
Yeah.
means. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I like how you said the smartwatch thing. Uh,
Yeah.
I'm the complete opposite.
Okay.
I will wear my smartwatch so I won't go on social media a lot.
Ah,
So
okay.
I will leave my phone at home, and I
Yeah.
have the phone on my smartwatch,
Right.
so I won't be scrolling. So I'm actually give 100% of what I'm doing,
I love that. That's a
because
really good way to look
if
at it.
not, if not, I get bored, and next thing you know, you're
I
what's going on here? What's
Oh
going
my,
on
yeah.
there?
I was at the grocery store the other day and I waited in line. I had more than the self-checkout stuff or whatever. So I was waiting in line
Yeah,
and I immediately reached for my phone. I'm like, what am I doing? What am I
right,
doing? It's okay to stand there and look around or smile at
right.
somebody or I don't know, read the tabloid magazine covers that are sitting in the checkout lane. It's like, how sad is that? How
It
sad is
is.
that? We
It
just
is.
reach for it it's a
Yeah,
natural inclination. So I think
it
we'll have,
definitely is. Technology has pushed to a way to keep us attracted to it, I say.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I've loved this conversation with you today, Carter. It's been so much fun. And
Same here.
I learned a lot. And I think, as I continue to see you out and about and work with you and, explore, I love sharing different ways that we are human and, we have crazy things happen in our lives, but also, getting out of our fear mindset, but also I think being real with each other, I think
Yeah,
it's very powerful. So,
I agree. I have one thing I want to read that I read to myself every day
okay.
that I want to share.
I love it.
Um, it's let me find it. It says, "Your mental health is not separate from your success. It is the foundation of it. Whether you're building a business, raising a family, or simply trying to make it through a difficult season, remember this: progress is more important than perfection. Keep showing up, keep moving forward, and don't be afraid to ask for help on the way."
That is so good. That's a good
I
one.
read it to myself every day.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you for sharing that. That's a good one.
yeah.
Alrighty. I appreciate you.
Same here. Thank you so much.